So our discussion for today is Kurds, Kurds, Kurds. ठीक है, आप कुछ facts लिख लो पहले. So the issue starts with this girl called as Mahsa Amini, who died recently in Iran. She was Kurd national. She was in Tehran for some tourism, and she was arrested by morality police in Iran. Moral policing, or जैसे cultural police होता है. They call that as Gaste-Ashab. Gaste-Ashab is the morality police of Iran. This morality police was formed 15 years ago, and it's responsible for maintaining religious and moral standards in Iran. That's one fact. Now, the present day Iran's president is, लिखो नाम, Ibrahim Raisi. 2021 में last year ही जीत के आए हैं, Ibrahim Raisi, and he is an hardliner, more extreme religion support है उनके पास, Ibrahim Raisi. इनके अंडर में बहुत सारे you have had lot of crackdowns. Next fact is, until 1979, Iran was under a king, an autocratic Pahlavi king थे. Pahlavi or Pahlavi, Pahlavi dynasty tha. Okay, he was called as the Shah of Iran, and he was supported by America. He was an American supported leader of Iran. 1979 mein they had Iranian Islamic Revolution, and he was thrown. He went on exile to US. The Shah of Iran, he went on Israel to US, and he was replaced by the Islamic State, which was headed by Khomeini, Khomeni, Khomeini. And Khomeini was like the spiritual leader of Iran. Okay, so 1979 onwards, Iran has become a theocratic state, as in a state ruled by religion. Theocratic state. थोड़ा सा restrictions हैं यहाँ पर, but the restrictions are not as severe as in Saudi Arabia. Of course, now Saudi Arabia under Mohammed bin Salman, इनको MBS बोलते हैं short में. Okay, Mohammed bin Salman, Saudi Arabia is seeing lot of revolution and reforms rather. Saudi Arabia is undergoing reforms under Mohammed bin Salman. He is the Prince Heir. He is the crown prince. Under him, there are a lot of reforms. So Saudi Arabia is also now becoming less and less strict. ठीक है? So Iran कभी उतना strict नहीं था, but nevertheless they were a theocratic state. Okay? अच्छा. इसके बाद क्या हुआ है? Since 1979, the relationship of Iran vis-a-vis US has become very bad, because somewhere the Khomeini government and the theocratic state, they saw US as an evil, and they also saw Russians as evil, because non-believers, Russians are anti-religion. Okay, and US में क्या है? They have supported the older king, the older dynasty. So Iran was always against both, against Russia भी था and against US भी था. So 1970, because before 1979, Iran के अच्छे relationships थे, okay, more or less with US. आप इसको बाद में कभी और पढ़ाएंगे. You realize that it was after 1970s that US changed its policy towards Pakistan, because इसके पहले the US did not have much interest in Pakistan. था उनका, but not like what it is today, because they had Iran support in parts of West Asia and in the Islamic world. But once Iran was lost, okay, that is when US now starts cultivating Pakistan a bit more aggressively. ठीक, वो तो अलग कहानी है, any case, that's a different story. So for now, know that Iran का US के साथ relationship ठीक नहीं रहा है. अच्छा, next point here is, US always looks for some reason. It could be around human rights, around democracy, around the issues of Kurds. The US has been interfering in Iran issues. In fact, it's almost open secret hai that CIA operates in Iran. and it is encouraging some amount of pro-democracy movements. It is encouraging some amount of anti-government protests in Iran. ठीक है? हालांकि under Obama, the US was careful not to say much against Iran because Obama was trying to develop a kind of a nuclear deal with Iran. So under Obama government के time में Biden was the vice president. So बहुत muted था. They would not aggressively go against Iran. They would keep quiet. But now under Biden, okay, US has again become a bit more vociferous against Iran. So blockade of Iran, oil embargo against Iran, ठीक है, human rights को बार बार उठा देती ईरान में. They do this. अच्छा, इस context में you must realize that there is a group called as Kurds. ये आपका background बता दिया मैंने, ठीक है? There is a group called as Kurd, K-U-R-D-S, Kurds. Who are Kurds? Kurds are an ethnic minority in West Asia. When I say ethnic, इनका religion, इनका language, इनका culture, okay, their practices, it's a bit different from the rest of the people in this region. हालांकि they are Muslims. Kurds are mostly Muslims, not all of them. They're mostly Kurds के religion में 4-5 हैं. Most of them are Sunni Muslims. Some of them belong to what's called as Alevite sect. Alevites, A-L-E-W-I-T-E, Alevites. Alevites आपको बहुत सारे सीरिया में मिल जाते हैं. They are of a Shiite origin. Alevites, A-L-E-W-I-T, Alevite sect भी हैं. Some of them are also Zoroastrians, like Parsis of India. ठीक है? Some of them are Zoroastrians. And some of the Kurds are also Yazidi, Y-A-Z-I-D-I. Now, Yazidis are non-Muslims. Zoroastrians are non-Muslims. Okay. Whereas Alawites have a Shia influence, Shiites, but the bulk of the Kurds are Sunni Muslims. तो अगर आप वहां का demography देखेंगे, okay, most of the people there, okay, are of a different. Say, Iran and Iraq में most people are Shiites, but Kurds जो हैं वो Sunni Muslims हैं. Okay. The Kurds speak a language, okay, which is of Iranian origin. वो language का नाम है Zazagorani language. Z-A-Z-A-G-O-R-A-N-I. Zazagorani language. ठीक है? So, which is not actually Persian, but it is of Iran origin. And it is not same as language of Turkey. Turkey में Turkish language. ठीक है? So this group of people, Kurds, they are ethnically very different in terms of religion, in terms of language. इनकी history बहुत different रही है. And these people are spread over around some countries. The maximum Kurds, they are part of Turkey. Turkey has about 10 to 12 million Kurds. So कहाँ पर Kurds हैं? Kurds are in Turkey. Turkey has the largest, okay, Kurd minorities. Iraq में है. Iraq has about 4 to 5 million of them. And Iran also has about 7-8 million Kurds. इसके अलावा you find Kurds also in Syria. You also find Kurds in Lebanon, Syria, Lebanon. Okay. We also have Kurds in parts of Caucasus. So Armenia में भी है. Caucasus में है. Okay. You also find Kurds in a region called as Khorasan, K-H-O-R-A-S-A-N, Khorasan region. ये region थोड़ा सा अफगानिस्तान के साथ में है. Khorasan, K-H-O-R-A-S-A-N. So this is the area. This is essentially northwestern Iran, northern Iraq, northwestern Iran, northern Iraq, and eastern Turkey. अगर आपको मैप दिखाई दे रहा है, this is Iran. So ईरान के नॉर्थवेस्ट में है, इराक के नॉर्थ में है, टर्की के ईस्ट में है. And you can see Azerbaijan, Armenia, you have got Georgia, Russia, ये सीरिया है. Okay, so this is the typical Kurd region. Okay, the maximum of them live in Turkey. Alag-alag language mein hai, so you can ignore this for now. So Turkish has the largest Kurd population, okay, followed by Iran and Iraq. Baki is kuch scattered Kurds. Acha, now the Kurds are considered the world's largest stateless population. So they are about 30 to 45 million in total. 30 to 45 million. Now you must understand what do we mean by the concept of a stateless population. इसमें आपको तीन चीज जानना होगा. Number one, what is a nation? When I say okay, a nation, nation मतलब क्या होता है? Nation is a cultural concept. A nation means कोई language होगा. A nation will have its practices. A nation will have its religion. A nation will have its own cultural heritage. So nation is a cultural concept. आपने सुना है India is okay a country of nations. Okay, nations because of the cultural diversity. Okay, we have Bengali nationalism, Naga nationalism, Tamil nationalism. We have Kashmiri nationalism, Dogra nationalism, Gujarati nationalism. India is, we often say this, India is a nation in making. का मतलब क्या है कि इंडिया में common language नहीं है, common religion नहीं है, common ways of life नहीं है. Okay, so we are not a monolith of a nation, but India has lot of small nations. It's a good thing. It's a part of what we call as diversity. Okay, so nationalism is a cultural concept. ये अपने आप में बहुत बड़ा debate रहा है. Should India preserve its national pluralism or should India move towards unified single nationalism? ये debate है, ये कभी और हम discuss करेंगे. But what I'm saying is nation का मतलब होता है cultural concept. So Kurds are a nation. Is it okay all of you? अच्छा. फिर एक concept है called as state. State क्या होता है? It's a political entity which has a border. A state will have one unified government. A state will have a flag. A state will have a sovereignty. A state के अपने unified laws होंगे. Okay, so a state is a political concept, whereas nation is a cultural concept. ठीक है? अच्छा. So in a state we can have many nations, but remember the nations belong to the state. का मतलब क्या है? That all the nationalities will be given rights by the state. They will have citizenship rights. India के case में they have fundamental rights. India के case में they all will have Aadhaar cards. They will have some documents to tell us that they belong to a state. So you can be many nations belonging to a state and you have rights of being in a state. I hope you got the point here. So I can be of Tamil nationalism or Tamil national believing in the state of India. This may be Indian citizenship, India's constitution, India's flag, India's government, India's parliament. I accept and I'm given rights. But होता क्या है? In some countries, some conditions में, there are some nationalities who are denied state rights. फिर वो culture उस country में तो है, but those cultures को citizenship rights नहीं मिलता है. उनको police protection नहीं मिलेगा. उनका language is declared an illegal language. The religion may be declared as an illegal religion. Okay, you know about Rohingyas, right? Rohingyas are a nation inside the state of Myanmar, but the state does not accept them, so they are stateless nations. ठीक है? So Kurds जो हैं, Kurds are the stateless nations and the stateless across 6 countries. ना टर्की मानता है, ना सीरिया मानता है, ना लेबनान मानता है, ना इराक मानता है, ना ईरान मान रहा है, and even Afghanistan, Khorasan region and so on. So they are, the UN says the Kurds are the world's largest stateless population. They are the world's largest stateless population. So the problem is not that they are a unique nationalism. The problem is that they are stateless. इनका कोई अधिकार नहीं है. in Turkey, if you speak Kurdish language, you can be imprisoned. If you declare your Kurdish nationalism, you can also be called as a terrorist. Okay, they are not given access to education or health. They're not given access to any state-sponsored programs. The Kurdish nationalism is almost demonized, criminalized in countries like Turkey. समझ में आप what mean by stateless population? And just to add to information, world के 5-6 largest stateless populations कौन है? The largest are the Kurds. Take a list. The list of world's largest stateless populations. Kurds are the largest ones. इसके अलावा we have the Palestinians, the Rohingyas. The Palestinians, the Rohingyas. Okay, Rohingyas, they belong to a region of Myanmar called as Rakhine. R-A-K-H-I-N-E, Rakhine state. Rakhine state. And Rohingyas are stateless. Many of them in Bangladesh. Okay, Bangladesh is the largest recipient of Rohingya refugees. और बांग्लादेश में एक कुतु पलोंग कैंप है, KUTUPALONG, कुतु पलोंग कैंप in Bangladesh. ये largest Rohingya refugee camp है. So I said Rohingyas. I talked about Palestinians. Okay. Now again, Palestinians कभी भी country नहीं थे. Palestinians again are an ethnic group. Historically, okay, Philistine or Palestine एक region था. Like think of India. Do we have a culture called as Bundeli culture? Bundelkhand, Bundeli सुना आपने Bundeli culture? But is Bundelkhand a state? No. Have heard of a culture called as Gond culture? But do we have Gond as a state? No. So we can have cultures, but the cultures may not have some boundaries. So वैसे ही Palestine एक type का culture है. The Palestinians, they are type of a culture. ये अपने आप में एक racial groups भी हैं. And they were found across, or they lived across largely Jordan. Jordan में हैं Palestinians, Saudi Arabia में Palestinians, Syria Palestinians. ठीक है? But originally most of them were in Jordan. And when the country called Israel was formed, after the World War II, okay, the Ottoman Empire breaks up, the Israel was formed, and the country of Israel was made largely from Jordan. Israel, जो country है, it is formed from an area called as Transjordania. Transjordania एक river है, River Jordan. River Jordan के साथ है. It's called as Transjordania region. ठीक है? So that became Israel. And when Israel was formed, the local people who were called Palestinians, Israel ने उनको निकाल दिया. Okay? Why? Because Israelis are Jew populations and Palestinians are Arabs. Palestinians are Arabic Muslim populations. So Israel ने कहा कि हमारे country में अगर Palestinians रहेंगे, Arab और Muslims रहेंगे, then our country is always in danger. So they said all Palestinians out. Either out, or if you stay with our laws. So the local population now from the Israel region have been pushed out into Saudi Arabia, pushed out into parts of Syria, into Lebanon, pushed into parts of Jordan. So ye Palestinian groups have now become again a stateless population, because Saudi Arabia unko thodi na dega ID card कि you are Saudi Arabians. Jordan will not say you are Jordanians. So they are a type, or Israel ke andar bhi they are not recognized properly. The Palestinians are also stateless population. एक और बहुत बड़ा group है called as Romas, R-O-M-A. Romas are found in Central and South Europe. Central Germany में, parts of Balkan region, Italy में, okay, and कहा जाता है कि Romas, R-O-M-A, Roma population, इनका origin है from parts of northern India. Around 12th, 13th century में, the Roma population moved from northern India towards Europe. So they have an Indian origin. Okay, Romas. And Romas, they are also called as gypsies, because Europeans thought that they come from Egypt. Egypt, gypsy. Okay, so they were called as gypsies. and gypsies, they're like nomadic. I mean, Roma का culture यही है, they do not believe in settled living. They don't believe in settling down with houses. They'll move in groups and camps. Okay, low education levels होगा, lack of employment है. So Europeans see them as a suspicious population. हमेशा there's lot of hate against them. Nazi under Hitler ने prosecution Jews का किया था और Romas का भी किया था. Okay, many Romas were killed under the Nazi occupation of Germany. So आज भी Romas you can find in parts of Italy, you can find them in parts of Yugoslavia, okay, parts of Balkan regions. Okay, so Romas are also a stateless population. ठीक है, इसके अलावा in Southeast Asia, we have some groups, some tribes हैं, like Chin, C-H-I-N, Chins and Karens, Akna, A-K-N-A, Aknas, Lisu, L-I-S-U, Lisu tribes, Yao tribes, Y-A-O, Yao tribes. ये सब Southeast Asia में है. Okay, Karens, Chins, okay, Lisu, Akna, A-K-N-A, Akna, Yao tribes. ये भी stateless हैं. Okay, in fact, Karens, they live in northern part of Myanmar. There's a highland area called as the Karen forests. ये Chin land बोलते हैं, C-H-I-N, Chin land. The Chin state बोलते हैं. तो वहां पर you have these populations, and they are found in Thailand also. So Myanmar, Thailand, Laos में है, and they are not recognized as belonging to any. Karens are also called as terrorists. This is unfortunately the reality. Okay, जो society को आप अधिकार नहीं दे रहे हो, and they probably take up arms. Okay, and then it becomes a kind of violence का spiral. Okay, Karens are called as terrorists. तो समझ में आया what I mean by stateless population? See, इस story से ना, there are many things will come up. The least important is who died. Okay, the Mahsa Amini died. आपके current affairs के लिए वो इतना important नहीं है. बाकी related issues are more important. So you must know the concept of stateless population. Fine. Okay, let's move on now. Now, ये जो Kurd, now back to Kurds. Now, after the World War I, when Ottoman Empire was being dismembered, इसको तोड़ रहे थे, because Ottoman Empire was the main say opponents of Britain. Okay, they're fighting back against the allies. ठीक है, the central powers थे. So Ottoman empires, so they got defeated. Ottomans got defeated. World War I, Ottoman, Bulgarians, and the rest. So Ottoman Empire को तोड़ा जा रहा था. So there was a treaty called as Treaty of Svers. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce it. Sevres or Svers. S-V-E-R-E-S. 1920 में था, between Ottomans and the British. जैसे आपका Treaty of Versailles सुना है आपने, between the Germans and the Allied forces. तो वैसे between Ottomans it was Treaty of Svers. In the Treaty of Svers, okay, Kurdistan as a country was agreed on, and the Kurdistan would have been formed from Turkey largely. Kurdistan as a country was agreed upon. Agree कर गए थे. Okay, but the Turkish nationals got very upset. Okay, or Turkish nationalism was led by Kemal Atatürk. You know this man? Okay, Pasha. K-E-M-L, Kemal Atatürk, A-T-A-T-U-R-K. He was the Turkish national, Turkish leader, becomes the president also. Kemal Atatürk is considered the reformer of Turkey. He's considered the man who converted Turkey into a secular country. In fact, बोला जाता है, the President Musharraf of Pakistan wanted to become Kemal Atatürk of Pakistan. He wanted to secularize Pakistan, but then he failed in his own trap. ठीक है? So Kemal Atatürk objected to the Treaty of Svers. इतना कि the people who signed the treaty from Turkey, they were stripped of Turkish nationality. Okay, ambassador of Turkey थे. Okay, they were declared as okay, anti-national by the Turkish governments or Turkish society. Unko pura exile kar diya gaya ultimately, like he is the criminal. Okay, so Treaty of Swears that promised the Kurdistan land, that was ultimately discarded. एक और treaty बना, Treaty of Lausanne, Lausanne, Treaty of Lausanne, Lausanne. Okay, ये 1923 का treaty था. In this treaty, Kurdistan was now ignored. इसके बाद Turkestan as a country, okay, was now rejected. So यहाँ से problem शुरू होती है. In fact, some of the articles I was reading says that Kurdish nationalism, okay, is not a very old movement. It started from the late 19th century and it became more and more virulent only in the 1940s and 50s. सबसे पहला major Kurdistan का demand था from 1960s onwards. 60s when they had a very violent protest. Okay, so it's not a very long history, but related to the World War I and what happened thereafter. So Kurds, they are denied their homeland, और जब भी बनेगा टर्की से ही बनेगा, ईरान से बनेगा, इराक से बनेगा, but the Kurds have been denied. जो possible था probably in the Treaty of Swears has now been denied or was denied under the Treaty of Lausanne. Now what has happened is, in the 1980s and 90s, Iraq में, okay, खासकर 90s में, you have Saddam Hussein coming in. Now Saddam Hussein, बड़ा interesting equation है. Saddam Hussein himself was a Sunni Muslim ruling in Iraq, which has Shia domination. ठीक है, but he was against the Kurds. And remember, Kurds are Sunni Muslims. बड़ा interesting equation है. Okay. So इसलिए बोलते ना, लड़ने के लिए बहाना चाहिए. अगर रिलीजन नहीं है तो सेक्स है, अगर सेक्स नहीं है तो लैंग्वेज है, अगर लैंग्वेज नहीं है तो जेंडर है. Okay. हमें बहाना मिलना चाहिए लड़ने के लिए. So Saddam Hussein himself was Sunni Muslim ruling over Iraq, which has Shiite population as majority. Saddam Hussein and Iran never got along, so there was Iran-Iraq ka Gulf War through much of 80s and 90s. And Saddam Hussein ka ek political agenda tha to persecute the Kurd Muslims of northern Iraq. The Kurd Muslims of northern Iraq. Okay? And he had conducted systematic executions. Children, women, atrocities. In fact, kya hota hai na, when you have got dictators and when you have got authoritarian rulers, a very convenient way of diverting population will be divert them towards conflicts. Okay, unemployment hai, poverty hai, lack of jobs hai, okay, environmental issues hai. Very conveniently tell them कि ये सब issue थोड़ी important है. Important is, look, your culture is getting diluted. Your culture is in threat. So Iraq population was given this Kurdish dimension of conflicts, and पूरा country was towards Kurdish say antagonism. So Kurds का persecution was very high in the times of Saddam Hussein. तो क्या हुआ फिर? When Saddam Hussein got deposed by US, okay, then US created a Kurdistan area within Iraq. So Iraq mein, there is the Kurdistan autonomous region in Iraq, northern Iraq mein. In fact, there is a line called as the no-fly zone. Iraqis, Air Force, Iraqi army cannot cross that line. It's under the watch of US and the UN. So Kurds ka abhi ek state-like condition hai. They have been given an autonomous region. Some of them call it as the Iraqi state of Kurdistan. Okay, जिसको इंडिया भी एक्सेप्ट करता है. हालांकि इंडिया का ऑफिशियल पोजीशन इज a type of a neutrality कि we will not interfere in the personal matters. जो करना है आप करें वो लोग. ठीक है. But India buys oil. Kurdistan, Kurd region का main resource oil है, and they sell the oil through Turkish companies and they sell the oil through Iranian companies. So India Kurds ka oil khareedta hai, but India has never declared them as recognized, and neither have we declared them as terrorists. So we are kind of neutral, kind of equidistant. We say internal matter hai, you take care of internal matters. Okay? So now we have Iraqi state of Kurdistan, jiska capital hai city called as Erbil, Erbil, also called as Irbil, Erbil. In some maps, they also write as Hewler, Hewler. Okay, if it makes sense. Ye Iran ka northwestern part hai, Iraq's northern area. This is the Kurdish population in Turkey, parts of Syria. You can see some of them in Armenia. Yahan Armenia ka bhi ek enclave hai. Okay, a small pocket we have here. So Iran, Iraq ke north mein, remember two important cities, Mosul, M-O-S-U-L, Mosul and Kirkuk. Ye Iraq ke cities hain, Mosul, M-O-S-U-L, Mosul and Kirkuk. Ye oil-rich regions hain. Okay, and Kurds are demanding this as a part of their land. वो एकदम border areas में, Kirkuk and Mosul are in the border areas. Okay, if you know of Mesopotamia civilization, सुना है आपने? ये सारे cities आते हैं. It's like an arc. It's like an arc like this. Okay, ऐसे arc बनेगा. Okay, where you have the rivers called as Euphrates and Tigris. Can you see this place called Mosul? Mosul, Tikrit. Okay, Kirkuk दिख रहा है यहाँ पे Kirkuk. This is Kirkuk. Okay, maybe it's unitless. So Kirkuk Iraq में है, Mosul भी Iraq में है, Tikrit भी Iraq में है. And you can see this red line. This red line is what is the Kurdistan area. Okay, but the Kurds are demanding right up to here. Okay, और ये सब oil regions हैं. They're all oil regions. Mosul is an oil region. Kirkuk is an oil region. Erbil is an oil region. एक country, एक city यहाँ पर है called as Sulaymaniyah. Sulaymaniyah is very near Kirkuk. Sulaymaniyah is considered as the cultural capital of Kurdistan. Sulaymaniyah is considered the cultural capital of Kurdistan. ठीक है? उनका जो political center है, that is Erbil. And write down 3-4 more names. Some 3-4 more names which are important cities of this Kurd region of Iraq. Okay, naam likho aap. A city called as Amedi, A-M-E-D-I, Amedi. A city called as Dahuk, D-A-H-U-K. A city called as Dahuk, D-A-H-U-K. यहाँ पर देखो Dahuk लिखा हुआ है, D-A-H-O-K. यही Dahuk है, Dahuk. Okay, a city called as Soran, S-O-R-A-N, Soran, and a city called as Zakho, Z-A-K-K-O. And I'll talk about Dahuk. ये area ना very old civilizations के remains हैं. You can find remains of 5,000-year-old civilizations. This has lot of tourism going on here. So I think last year, couple of months ago, the Kurdish, maybe some group, they launched rockets on this place. And lot of tourists died, so which India has condemned, and Iraq says that's the work of the Kurdish terrorists. Okay, so ye area, remember this. I repeat: Mosul, Erbil, Kirkuk, Dahuk, Sulaymaniyah. Ye area is culturally very important because they have remains of old Mesopotamian civilizations, remains of old Sumerian civilizations. 4,000-5,000 साल हिस्ट्री यहाँ पर है. इनफैक्ट बगदाद itself ना, ये अपने आप में हिस्टोरिकल सेंटर रहा है. Okay, Babylon's के remains. Okay, you can find these areas, Babylonia or Babylon. So they are one of those cultural hearth बोलते हैं, where civilizations of modern times grew and moved out. ये वो वाला belt है. Okay, so यहाँ पर tourism होता है, and unfortunately rocket attacks and some people died there. Okay, so Mosul, Kirkuk, देखो in the prelim examination ना ये पूछ देता है match the following. That they'll ask you city's name, where is it? So जो news में है, they'll ask you. Okay, Kurds are in which countries? They can give you a list. or which country among the following has the maximum Kurdish population? They can give you some choices there. ये आपका बन गया from the prelims point of view. Okay, now, so I said I was talking about Iraq. Okay, so what happened was, after the Gulf War, US and Iraq war, the Kurd region is created. It's almost like the Kurd state of Iraq. ये बताया आपको मैंने, with the capital at Erbil and the cultural capital at Sulaymaniyah. Okay. Now, जो बाकी Kurds हैं, the Kurds of Iran, the Kurds of Turkey, the Kurds of Syria, they have no recognition. They continue to be stateless. They continue to be stateless. Okay, and Iran, kahin na kahin, it starts its persecution of these population. Okay, so this lady, Mahsa Amini, dying in custody. Okay, iska do story hai. One story is that moral policing, custody, and she died. Second is, she probably was a victim of anti-Kurdish sentiments. That she was arrested and the police might have tortured her, the police might have abused her, and she died. The consequences, जो आप अभी देख रहे हैं in terms of rising. Now, one more thing I want to add here. अब देखो, maybe give a subheading, Iran में turmoil and Iran में protest. So I said 1979 is the creation of theocratic Iran under Khomeini. Theocratic Iran under Khomeini. And Iran has always been anti-US since then. Anti-US since then. Oil embargo hai, because of nuclear program of Iran. They again are kind of sanctioned. In fact, George Bush today, he had called Iran and North Korea as part of axis of evil of the world. ये बहुत strong words हैं. आप किसी country को बोल रहे हो, they're evil country. Okay. So George Bush had called this, that Iran and North Korea are part of the axis of evil. So kahin na kahin, US wants the regime change here. It's a part of their geopolitical strategy. Iran in recent times has seen 2 or 3 major uprisings. एक 2009 में हुआ था, एक 2019 में हुआ है, और अब ये चल रहा है. These are the strongest uprisings and revolts in Iran in recent times. 2009 and 2019. Okay, at that time, the president was Ahmadi Nijad, A-H-M-E-D-I, okay, A-H-M-E-D-I-N-E-J-A-D, Ahmadi Nijad. And he is considered to be a moderate. He is considered to be a moderate. But Iran mein, during this time, Iran had lot of inflation, poverty, unemployment. Okay, so the uprisings were seen more as uprisings because of economic problems. उसके ऊपर आपका sanctions हैं, oil आराम से बेच भी नहीं पाते ये लोग. So 2000 uprisings are called as the Green Revolution of Iran. They refer to as the Green Uprisings. Okay, Green Uprisings or the Green Revolution of Iran. But ये ज़्यादातर economic था. 2019 में it again was a type of an economic uprising, but एक difference था. There was lot of allegations against political corruption. And खासकर elections were rigged is what was declared. Ahmad Nijad के against allegations हैं, he had rigged the allegations. So corruption, political fight था. 2009 and 2019 revolutions or uprisings were not against the Islamic State of Iran. The Islamic State of Iran was never questioned in that large scale. ये पहली बार हो रहा है now when they're talking about protest against hijab. Now this is seen partly as, I said partly as, uprising against the theocratic or the religious nature of Iran's polity. ठीक, ये पहली बार है ऐसा हुआ है. So from economic political nature, now it has now become a kind of a cultural thing. But remember, okay, this anti Islamic state, इसका बहुत बड़ा support नहीं है ईरान में अभी, because maybe they fear persecution. Okay, but मिला जुलाकर, okay, it has an economic element, there's a cultural element, there's a political element. Like this President Ibrahim Raisi says that this uprising is partly orchestrated by Ahmadinejad. He's partly, playing the game behind. ठीक है? उसके ऊपर में allegations that the Kurds are being encouraged by the US. The Kurds are being encouraged by the US. In fact, President Biden officially has said this. ये पहले ओबामा में नहीं किया था. Biden officially says this, that we are supporting Kurdish movement. Okay, that the Kurds have a right to protest and declare their state. Okay, we are giving them moral support against Iran's policies. Okay, और इसी पे टर्की भी upset है. Okay, because kahin na kahin, even Turkey and US are no longer eye to eye. I hope you know this. Recep Tayyip Erdogan of Turkey is now more pro-Russia. Are you aware of this? Erdogan is supporting Russia in the Ukraine war. And US is now going anti-Turkey or anti-Erdogan. And US will support the Kurd movement of Turkey again. So US ne kya kiya hai? Against Iraq, it has established the Kurdistan state. Against Iran, it is encouraging Kurdish rebellions. Against Turkey, again encouraging Kurdish rebellions. Syria has more support of Russia. Syria में जो president है, Bashar al-Assad, Syria's president, he has support of Russia. ठीक है? So US support of Kurd movement is partly a type of a geopolitical game going on to take control of West Asian resources or maybe political direction. Okay, and what Iran has done is it has banned all type of social media in Kurdish regions. WhatsApp ban कर दिया, internet ban कर दिया, and Joe Biden ने क्या किया? Officially now he has told Elon Musk कि please activate your Starlink satellite communication. ये टर्म सुना आपने? Okay, Starlink. इतना openly, US is now supporting Kurds. He has told Elon Musk to please start the Starlink satellite communication network in Iran, and that is what Elon Musk did in Ukraine also. So आपका ये question बन जाता है: what is Starlink? Okay, what is this technology? The Starlink is a group of couple of thousand small satellites. Okay, इनका aim है कि by 2025 तक they will have as many as 15 to 20,000 satellites. Abhi about 3,000 of them are operational. Okay, and using those satellites, they'll control the internet communication. ठीक है, ये सारे low orbits में है. Low orbits for telecommunication, yes. So know about that. So मैं सिखाना ये चाह रहा हूं कि don't read Kurd as in Kurd and stop there. So I gave you 4 links. Kurd news में था, but what's more important is understand the concept of stateless population, where they are, what their concerns are. Understand American geopolitics. किस region में क्या चल रहा है vis-a-vis the local governments. Understand what is India's stake in this. Largely, I hope you also know this, India is not a signatory of United Nations High Commission for Refugees. UNHCR, एक specialized organ है that takes care of refugee interests. It was formed in 1950-51. India signatory नहीं है. Okay, that's why India does not have much to say about Kurds or Rohingyas or supporting Karens or supporting okay, Romas. India does not say much there. और इंडिया का अपना पॉलिसी है around Rohingyas. So know that dimension, India and the stateless population. And then I gave you a technology dimension also. Starlink communication, what is it? And some features, we'll see how we can discuss it. Correct. Okay, it's a satellite-based communication system. But problem ye hai ki to activate the Starlink communication, Elon Musk will require lot of terminals or local terminals चाहिए जो यूक्रेन में बना लिया. Why? Ukraine is still partly under the influence of US and the West. ठीक है, but ईरान में घुसोगे कैसे आप? To make those terminals, you need or to establish the terminals, you need access, right? And you can't enter Iran as easily. So we do not know how much of Starlink facility. Maybe they'll establish Starlink facilities in the Kurdistan of Iraq. Okay, Iraq वाला part, ये तो US control में है ना, तो शायद यहाँ पर बना देंगे terminal, and from here they can start beaming, okay, whatever they want in parts of Iran. Okay, Iraq can use probably parts of Ukraine, but problem hai Starlink does not have a long range facility. ये low range में है, and that's why it has very high clarity. ठीक है? So we do not know कि अगर बनता भी है Starlink communication, the terminals would be set up in parts of the Iraq Kurdistan, which has support of the US. This was a larger story. इसमें questions कैसे बनते हैं? We can come up afterwards, but I hope you know the region better now. You can know this, that the main political party of Kurd is PKK. ये fact है. PKK, जिसका full form है Kurdistan Workers Party. Kurdistan Workers Party. Some of them, like Turkey and Iran, they have branded them as terrorist organizations. PKK, Kurdistan Workers Party. Okay. और अभी जो recent violence हो रहा है ईरान में, it is said that the protests have support of Komala Party, K-O-M-A-L-A, Komala. Komala is declared as a terrorist organization by Iran, Komala Party, and some say that Komala is probably the offshoot of Al-Qaeda. So this is Iraq, ये northern Iraq. So somewhere along this line यहाँ पर is the no-fly zone, the southern no-fly zone. So Iraq forces can't enter that. Okay, यहाँ पर American control है. So Kurd of Iraq, देखो city of Kirkuk है, Mosul है. Okay, and Sulaymaniyah, this is Erbil, ये capital है. This is the cultural center. Kirkuk, Mosul, I said oil centers are very important cities of northern Iraq. And this belt has lot of historical significance because of ancient civilizations. Where do Kurds go when they face anti-social attacks or victims? Nowhere to go. आपने तो उनको declare कर दिया है ना कि they are, okay, the entire community is a terrorist. So where will they go? Nowhere. That is the sad part. So when a community becomes stateless, it's a different thing to declare an organization as terrorist. It's a different thing to declare a group as terrorist. To declare entire community. Okay, to declare that कि सारे लोग उस cultural group के are terrorist. फिर तो you are having state-sponsored massacre. What Nazis or Hitler did. He declared the Jews to be the scum of the society. He declared Romas as the terrorists of society. Okay, and the population supports him because of nationalism, German nationalism. Agar banana hai, agar Germany ko great banana hai, go and kill Jews. That becomes an agenda of the population to start persecuting them. So see all of this, what's happening, and I'll see if I can discuss. Do we see some elements of this in India also? Which group, which population? If disenfranchised, okay, then where do they go? No countries will take them. UN का role, okay, refugees के role में आएगा. We have got United Nations High Commission for Refugees. इनके अलग-अलग centers हैं. हालांकि India is not a signatory of this, but India में, चेन्नई में और दिल्ली में UNHCR के offices हैं. Okay, we have lot of Sri Lankan Tamils as refugees in India. So I hope you understand कि current affairs को ना कैसे link किया जाएगा. Don't get trapped in that news alone. Okay, you must anticipate what are the other issues you must study along with that. ठीक है? What is Russia's stand? Russia is pro-Syria. Russia is pro-Turkey. Russia is anti-US. Okay, Russia is anti-Iran. But कहीं ना कहीं ईरान रशिया का थोड़ा दोस्ती हो रहा है. आप बताओ रशिया का क्या इशू होगा इसमें? If Russia is anti-US, will it support the Iraqi state of Kurdistan? If Russia is pro-Erdogan, will they support Kurds of Turkey? If Russia is developing a friendship with Iran, Iran, Russia and China एक group बन रहा है. If Russia becomes some friend of Iran, can they support Kurd? And what do you think China will do here? Will China be pro-Kurds? Because China का pro-Kurd होगा, उनके अपने Uyghurs का क्या होगा? I hope you got the point here. So यार, Kurd region is a theater of geopolitics. उनके ऊपर game क्या खेला जा रहा है? और वही इंडिया का भी इशू है. If India goes pro-Kurd, फिर issues इंडिया में खुल जाएंगे. So we say bilateral matter अपने आप संभालो. तो internal issue अपने आप संभालो. For a long time, we were very pro-Palestinians. But now we also developed friendship with Israel. तो अब बताओ इंडिया का क्या stand होगा? So these are tricky issues, not to be answered in one word or one sentence. Okay, कुछ compulsions हैं, कुछ reality है. So you should guess what do you think, okay, Russia's stand will be.